Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about all of crypto, so let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here. So for the longest time around this market, I've always told you guys one thing. Pay attention to what the media is trying to tell you. Going all the way back in time, I mean, even years back, we have always seen, crypto's going to be banned. China's going to ban it, India's going to ban it, blah, blah, blah. Like some of the biggest areas around the world are always going to ban crypto. We do see the price suffer slightly, but for the most part, we know that it's all just FUD. Um, when I seen this post from CNBC earlier today, I was like, okay, this is one of the most bullish indicators around crypto. This is like the most bullish thing I've seen around crypto in a while. And I even said like this is actually one of the most bullish indicators during all of this, to be honest, because the media could be a very good indicator. And we do see from Jim Cramer. He advises investors to cash out on crypto while they can. Now, what does this remind me of, right? To me, right? This reminds me of the perfect storm around a bullish crypto market. What do I mean by that? Well, I said over here, the media is bearish. Tell you to withdraw while you can. The entire community is filled with fear and panic. The market has been demolished in the last week, but what they won't tell you is that CPI was bullish and the dollar has been crashing while panic continues. Distractions. Again, focus on the bigger picture. We go back to March of 2020. During March of 2020, not this tweet. During March of 2020, we seen a ton of bearish news and articles being written about crypto. For an example, here we have March 13th, 2020, Bitcoin bloodbath. What people are saying about the crypto collapse. Then we do see over here from CoinDesk, Bitcoin falls below 5K as market pain deepens. March 12th. Then after that, we did see cryptocurrency see a $93.5 billion billion dollars wiped off value in 24 hours as Bitcoin plunges 48%. And we've seen a lot more around this market as well during that time, but these are just some of the articles that I found and I dug up. But there's a lot more to this. You could find a whole bunch of articles. You could actually go and just look up on Google, cryptocurrency crash or something like that, and you could do the tolling and go back to March of 2020, even going all the way through 2020. A lot of people were saying like, oh, is this a dead cat bounce? Is this just a scam bounce, whatever? And it all really kind of leads to one path, which is crypto going back up, having a massive bull run, and shocking the entire world. Right now, Fear and Greed Index, I'm actually surprised this is not lower. We do see this sitting at 21. Pretty interesting. And this was during pretty much this entire last month, down to the lowest of 20. We've seen this at a pretty low, or I should say a pretty good low during the summer. I think it was in the single digits. It was an incredible time in the market to really kind of look into some buys, but now we do have the dollar crashing. Why is this important? Well, I have this on the 3-day span, and the reason why I want to look at this is because first off, this could go a few ways. One, we have lost the 53-day EMA, which was this orange line. The next is the blue one if we, of course, don't have these fib levels hold, which currently we are looking at the 702 as well as the 618. The 702 is a perfect area for it to retest and have a significant bounce off, which we have seen it back here kind of go under the 702 and go even higher. In the past, I don't know if the 702 has held up. I just know that we have this macro fib extension that we've been focused on. We could see something where it just kind of continues downward like we did see going all the way back to 2002. Like I said, this is on the macro, by the way. But this is going to be pretty interesting to see what's going to happen next. We could have something like this, which happened during May of 2000, where this kind of stretches on for a little bit of time. I mean, during this time, we had this go on for roughly, before it fully topped, it topped out back in 2001. This took roughly about 411 days from this little bit of a spike, which, by the way, I kind of want to look at something pretty interesting around the US dollar, which was this 112 level, and we are already kind of past that, as you guys do see on this chart, But what's interesting is that this is actually macro resistance that it was fighting recently, going back to November 1st as well as November 4th. The big thing to watch for is the dollar doing a 180, because although this is very bullish, like the dollar collapsing is very bullish for crypto, while of course the total market cap for crypto kind of just continues to look pretty bearish. This is a good indicator to see what's going to happen next around risk on assets. Now, the interesting thing, what I want to look at right now around crypto, let me go to the total again. Let me go to the full chart. The interesting thing about crypto is where we are on the macro. So one, we have lost significant support on the macro, which was this fib extension up here. Now, is this extremely important to me? Not technically. One thing that I would like to note as well is the non-log scale fib, the non-log scale fib levels, which when we actually come down and bring this down to the bottom section here, and let me go back up here and move this down to the topping point. 1 second. Oh, I didn't even notice that this was a full-on log scale. Apologies, guys. So when we look at this on the scale that we have now, and we go to the log scale, we can kind of see a little bit of a better picture on what we are looking at. So let me make sure that this is accurate. There we go. So you can see that currently, if we look at where we bottomed out on currently, and I'm not saying that we fully bottomed out, I'm just saying where we came down to test, there's not a lot of support here going back in time. I mean, sure, this is January 1st, 2021, yearly support. So if this level actually holds, that would be a significant W for all of crypto. Big thing to look at right now for the total is the 236. The 236 has been significant resistance since we tested to go up to about the 382, lost some momentum, and came back down. And recently we tried to test and break out of it going back to November 3rd. I would argue that we probably would have broken out on the CPI report if FTX did not go, belly up. But when we look at the sell volume in crypto, this is the highest sell volume since going all the way back to September of 2021, which is pretty interesting. On balance volume is still pretty bearish here, but it looks like it's getting back to the point where we were back in June of this year, where we kind of fully bottomed out a little bit until we had this nice little rally up, and of course until we made this new low. One thing that I'm looking at, though, is to see momentum build here. So far, this has been pretty bearish. With the dollar topping out a little bit and the dollar going a little bit bearish and coming back down to test some nice levels, one thing is for certain. If we do see the dollar continue to fall, and if the dollar continues to weaken, we could see the total start to actually have a 180 turnaround and start to kind of break out of these EMAs. We have a few that we still need to target, specifically around like almost 900 billion, 910 billion, and then so forth. But these are going to continue to fall as crypto kind of just ranges here. What I would love to see is a floor being built out around 730, almost $5 billion. Now, we could go lower. I'm not going to lie to you. We could definitely go lower. But one thing is for certain to me, I would love to see this level hold. This is, to me, a very crucial level to hold before we see some nice lows being tested, because, technically on the total, if we're looking at support range, we could come down to about like 500 some billion dollars. I've also looked at the macro fib extensions, which I had on the chart before. I really kind of just wanted to look at that and show you guys something pretty interesting. When we go even back as far as this level back here, which this is the low from the 2017-2018 bear market. This is not going off of COVID, the March of 2020 low. This is going off the macro low here, where we had the lowest point before we had this Black Swan event. The interesting thing here as well is that we kind of see this being a support zone yet again. It's actually very interesting to look at, because this is still right around the low point of January of 2021. It's not all the way at the bottom here, which I would like to see at about like 760 billion, but we still see this level kind of holding here, which could be a level of interest to see where the bottom is going to be if this kind of continues to build a floor and has a 180 trajectory. Is it going to be fully a bottom here? Are we going to continue lower? It's an interesting area to look at, but One thing that I've been looking at is the $521 billion level, which is major demand. And so far, this has weakened. Every single time that we do retest the 618, aka 780, almost $9 billion, this will continue to weaken as support, and we will actually have this drop in the market. Now, of course, a lot of people have been looking at Bitcoin as well. When we actually look at Bitcoin on the index scale, so let me look at the level that we have now. Let me kind of see where we are at currently on this. So I want to just make sure that we aren't. So there we go. There we go. Interesting enough, there is not a lot of range that we actually have here in terms of where the next major level of resistance is besides 22K. 22K has been a fighting area. We have tried to fight out of it for a while. We had a little bit of a peak above it, but we could not continue to break up to the 382. When we look at the macro on Bitcoin, very interesting. Again, our macro actually goes all the way back to the bear market low. Let me just make sure that we are accurate enough on this. So, very interesting here. We haven't tested the... It's actually interesting to look at because the 0.5 fib level would be about 14.7K, which was an area that I found interesting. If we go off of the COVID drop in the market, you can kind of see that we still have support here at about 16.4K. I'd say if we continue to lose this level and continue to go lower here, it would be interesting to see what the next level of support would be. To me, the next level of support would be around like 10K, because during this period here of this like sort of this on the 3-day, by the way, there's not a lot of support here. On the 1 week, again, very interesting. We don't have a ton of support around this range, which is why like the price action right now on Bitcoin is very interesting. We're kind of just holding around this 16.4K region. But this weekly candle still looks very bearish to me. On balance volume is still dropping. The next level of interest, to me, I mean like 11.7 billion or 11.7K, sorry, would be interesting. After that, it's still around like the 10K region down to about like 8K, which a lot of people have been calling for. Like the 236 down here at about like $7,700 would be interesting to see if we test that level. But is that going to be our full bottom? Have we already bottomed out? It's hard to say. We just need to watch a few levels, but I'd say that this still looks very bearish. RSI, though, still coming down. I mean, it's not like a crazy level on the RSI to say like, okay, yeah, we're oversold or anything like that. On balance volume is still kind of declining. We just got to wait to see if 16.4K is going to hold. If this continues to break down from here, I'd say a big indicator of us coming back down to like 11.7K or even lower would be us losing the support at about like 15.5K. It's definitely a concerning chart. We've been looking at XRP as well. XRP has been an asset that I've been looking at to buy at around this buy range of like 32 cents to about like 38 cents, and we are right in that level. What's the next level of support? Well, we would have to see if we are going to retest about like 32 cents. We hit 28 cents perfectly down here back in June. It was like almost 29 cents, I should say. We didn't come back down that low, which is interesting. On balance volume still declining. RSI still looks pretty rough. So we would definitely have to wait and see what's going to happen here. On a lot of these altcoins, I still look at them as extremely undervalued. But like I said, the fear around this market with the media has me thinking that we could bottom out very soon here. I know a lot of people have been mentioning Ethereum to me. Look at the Ethereum chart. The Ethereum chart has held up pretty strong on the support, which I've been looking at. This is macro support, by the way. So going all the way back to January of 2021, check out this level that we're holding so far on Ethereum. This is very interesting. If we do lose this level and if we lose our summer low, which was $886, I'd be concerned because the next level of interest is the demand range, which is right around, sorry, let me get the rectangle here, which is right around anywhere between $534 to about like $660. I mean, that would be a bargain if I've ever told you guys about one. So That's a level that I'm looking at if we do lose these lows up here. So far, the market has been looking pretty good. We've been looking at Q&T as well. Q&T, you guys already know where I'm buying this thing at. I'm looking at $60 to $80. If anybody doesn't have any Q&T, if you're looking to add more, you can definitely average in. Big level of interest is about like 100 to 105. I don't know if the volume profile has changed at all. Been looking at this, pretty interesting. So a lot of buy volume is around this range. Again, like this is a demand range. So we're definitely focused on that. There's still a lot of demand down here as well at like 40 some dollars, all the way up to like 60 to $80. This is my buy range. I've been looking at this buy range for a while. Hbar as well. Hbar recently had a downward swing on it. Not a lot of buy volume down here. Some sell volume up here, I would assume. But besides that, there's not a lot of volume coming in here. Volume has been flat on the 3-day span as well. A lot of this to me looks like sell volume. It's hard to gauge on this. There's not a lot of volume profile here building out. So I would definitely have to watch and wait for us to kind of see where the next major level of support would be. So far, our bottom here on Hbar has been about like roughly what 4 cents almost. If we lose that level again on the weekly, we can kind of see where a lot of the demand is. I would argue that we probably see these levels too, like 3.5 cents might actually get fully tested out. So definitely look to see if we lose 4 cents as a support zone. So I haven't been buying Hbar a lot lately at all. I've been actually looking to see where we are going to bottom out on this market. I've been waiting for the dust to settle on a few of these assets. But like I said, media is pretty bearish. Every single time that the media has been bearish, they're telling you stay out of crypto, don't get into crypto. The entire community is filled with panic and all that kind of stuff. The market has been demolished. The fear and greed index is still extreme fear. But the dollar has been dropping. Most of the market looks like it could have bottomed out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like most of the market looks pretty good here, but it still looks pretty bearish from a chart perspective. So we have to wait and see what actually happens here. We are at a critical area going all the way back to like January of 2021 to see if this level holds. It would be pretty interesting to see from here. If we do bottom out here to go to the all-time high of the market, would be about a 279% run up. Where I'm looking at of interest on the next major run up is anywhere between like 7 trillion to about like 12 trillion, which would be a 15x of the entire market. Not only just altcoins, but the entire market, including Bitcoin. So very interesting time ahead. Definitely going to watch, wait, and see. Anybody that is still in crypto right now, I highly advise you to definitely stay in. Don't listen to the media. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the next major cycle kind of morph into reality. I do think that we will see our bottom by the end of December if we haven't already. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. I was up that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this before. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.